Good afternoon, everybody. Stay awake, and thank you for being here. It's a delight to speak to you. I can't talk about 37 years of research, but what I can talk about is the current major challenge that we're facing. Is this working? Good. It's a problem that faces everybody, and it's more insidious than we believe. Road traffic collisions, wildlife vehicle collisions. I started working with penny dogs all those years ago, and when I started in '87, there were less than 200 penny dogs in Zimbabwe. And the main cause then were ranchers. No surprises the second they left the park. Well, sadly for me, mortality on penny dogs has been exceeded by ranchers. It took me 13 years to stop the killing in Zimbabwe. So by the year 2000, we'd managed to stop killing of penny dogs in Zimbabwe by ranchers, almost dead in the war. So now, moving on from ranchers from ranchers to motorists, I'm going to just introduce a little bit about my team. This is part of my African field team. They're working in all different directions, and that's some of us doing our morning exercises that we all do as a teamwork. I'll get this thing to work. Right, so I started from humble beginnings with a tracker that couldn't track very well and a vehicle that didn't work very well. But vehicles are my modern day enemy, certainly not that one. So from ranchers to roadkill. So who drivers think they are? Drivers think they're all super cool, they're super fast, they can do anything they like. They're amazing, of course. They believe they have the visual reaction speed of a sparrowhawk, and they can get out of any situation. The truth is, as drivers are not evolutionarily designed to be, humans are not evolutionarily designed to be behind steering wheels. This is what we're evolutionarily designed for. This is who we really are, and we need to understand that, because we think we're so good and so smart. Now I'm just going to move on to my landscape I'm dealing in. This is where the nitty-gritty and the nuts and bolts of my presentation come in. Within Southern Africa, there's a very exciting initiative called KAZA, the Kavango Zambezi Transfrontier Park Initiative. It's a landscape of 5 countries have come together to form a coalition under one umbrella, which is mitigating conservation and joining national parks together. My study area is in one of those corridors. Corridors are absolutely essential to conservation. You know, that KAZA will fall apart if the corridors fall apart. The landscape of KAZA is the size of Texas. My study area is the size of Delaware. And in that study area, you see a little bit of national park, and I'm going to share how that can damage the whole KAZA initiative. This is the impact of roads among that KAZA initiative. That's an area the size of Texas that is broken up and fragmented just by roads, and unless we deal with it, we're not going to save that big landscape. Here's my study area, size of Delaware. I'm going to share with you some of the data we're collecting. You see those horrible red lines on that map there? They're roads. And I'm going to share with you some data that we've collected over literally a 45-mile section of road for the last 10 years. And the results are absolutely devastating. Okay, wildlife are always going to use the roads because their wildlife is running through a designated wildlife area. It's a designated corridor area. But of course, governments and people put highways through areas because it's convenient. And all of you, anyone in this room, if you ever see a petition saying like another road through the Serengeti National Park, do whatever you can to stop it. It is carnage. And I'll give you some idea of the carnage on a 50-mile section of road. I don't think anyone in this room, even me when I started to collect the data 10 years ago, had any idea that 4,000 to 8,000 vertebrates are killed every year on a 50-mile section of road. I mean, we did that. How did we collect all those data? We started at 4:35 in the morning because by 9 o'clock in the morning, half the roadkill was gone because it was taken away by scavengers or people. And some scavengers are also turned out to be people. So there's a problem. Impacts of roads, of course, habitat loss. degradation, decreased landscape connectivity, mortality. But there is one effect that people don't take into consideration a lot, and even biologists, is the vacuum effect. The vacuum effect works something like this, much in the same as it worked for the North Carolina wolves. The second protection was removed from them. You know, they suddenly became extirpated because as soon as they were shot, more moved out into the vacant territory. Just to give you some idea of here's June 2020, how rapidly cars can take your population down. Within 3 months, the second those pups left their den, they were slaughtered by vehicles. Packs were wiped out one by one, and every year we publish something like this, where you can see that one year there was 4 packs, and the next year the 4 packs have been replaced by another 4 packs. And it's something we often think on the road, well, I'm still seeing these animals, but it's not, the animals are not perpetuating. They're going boom and bust. That musketeer pack is the only one that survived to this day, and that was only because of our intervention. So what are we doing about it? Roads, obviously, collecting data on traffic. More importantly, we're collecting data on who's the good boys and who's the bad boys. So I have my good, the bad, and the ugly list. And I publish the good list so that tour operators get Greg's green badge of honor, some people call it. But the main thing about it is that everyone not on the green list knows that they've got work to do within their drivers. Happily, when we started publishing that list, one company was in the red list, within 3 months changed their behavior of all their drivers. What can we do? Speed bumps? No, they make angry drivers. Overpasses and underpasses? No, we have giraffe, we have elephants. Imagine an underpass for giraffe. Signage. Well, we can try signage. Sounds like a good idea because all the motorists said they didn't know the speed limit. Then it became my private war with elephants. But actually, they took it one step too far. There was a case last year where an elephant trashed someone's vehicle when it ran out of fuel. And so I decided that I need to call on Gary Larson in his Far Side cartoon, just to substitute a cat for a dog, a cat for a speeding vehicle. How are we managing? Well, what's the way forward? We're working on partnerships, high-level partnerships with the police. You'll see I've highlighted toilets in there because I found out by interviewing all the subbies by saying, well, what do you really need at a roadblock? They said, we need a toilet facility. So toilets are part of my life. Some of the actions we can take are, we can't put signs up, so we're messing with visual perceptions. So things like making roads seem wide, narrower by changing markings. So I'm going to need a hell of a lot of paint for conservation. Chevrons, these are all techniques that are out there that we're trying to get adopted at the moment. Community policing, the police have already agreed to start using, like, handing out literature, handing out information on the law and what people should be doing. Buttons and bumper stickers going mad. And here I must say thank you to Columbus Zoo, big shout out for helping us with these, because a lot of this work, these are kind of things partnerships can do. Even if their budget kitty's low, they can, staff time is golden to us. Projects in the pipeline, as I've got to keep to time. We're trying to set up a citizen science road watch program. A little need here. We need someone in the tech world who knows how to set up a WhatsApp bot. Because we've got people that want to report and we want to help. We also need tech wizards. And with that, as my time, I'm getting my 1-minute warning before I'm thrown off the stage. I'm just going to say, this is where we're going. Thank you for listening. But more importantly, and very importantly, thank you to all the people on that board up there. Some of them are contributors in time, some contributors in funding, some have just been there when in times of need. Thank you very much for listening.